This series is unbelievable. It is amazing to see the depth of the story, the reality of Rome, like to see it like this, because it feels like you're really there. For all of you, what was it like stepping into these roles? Because they really are the heart that moves this series along.
Well, I think it was a real treat for all three of us, wasn't it, ladies? We've been saying that it was an opportunity that we've all kind of been in the starters blocks waiting for, really, to play these dynamic women that are just trying to keep their seat at the table and survive and do it, as elegantly or craftily or all sorts of, the ways that us women use sometimes to get what we want. But we're all in kind of real survival mode at sort of sticking around in ancient Rome and keeping our seat at that table. Yeah.
I mean, first of all, having a set with that many women, I've done this job for 30 years. I've never seen it. Usually it's me and two other chicks and they're doing my hair and my makeup, right? So number one, you've got these characters, but also visually having this thing where you've got a female, you've got Claire McCarthy or Debbie Peterson, and you've got these females, you've got the girls. That was really, really wonderful. And then with these characters, we were all ready. And, you've got the Christines, you've got Scribonia there, kind of like charmingly keeping herself around. You've got Antigone working behind the scenes. You've got, Kasha playing, Livia, who's just this powerhouse who's coming in and out. All of us had these complex characters that were also specifically of the time. So what was wonderful is that usually you have one woman in a show that will show you the female character of that time. Here, you got to have 6 women, because you had the younger girls as well, and what they had to go through, how they had to marry, what they had to do with it. You had 6 women's strong stories, and you got to see each aspect within this time period, which we've never seen. It hasn't happened. You have not seen this on film before. So, God bless Simon, God bless Sky, God bless all the people that decided to actually take this step forward and be part of changing a narrative to show these multidimensional women and what it took to be a woman. And, Colette will explain her side, and obviously we had our side, but it was, it hasn't been done. So for me, 30 years later, to stand on a set and see it being done, it made me emotional. And proud that it was happening.
Absolutely. And it was amazing to have the opportunity to put a face and a character to someone of color in ancient Rome. The depictions that we've had in the past have always been, as well as the historical material, have always been from the lighter skin and elite part of society. But brilliantly, Simon had always envisioned Antigone, who is a fictional character in this historical story, that we would explore what it is that someone like Antigone could be facing, and in three-dimensional layered way, what would her psychology be? And we had so many conversations that were parallel to everything that was happening in terms of the BLM movement and the protests that were happening. All those conversations that we were having globally, we were having between the creative team. And we made a huge shift with Antigone, and we had some very difficult questions. And I think that is an example that I would love to be the standard across all creative processes. We should not be scared to have those conversations and be informed and present and attempt to present, because I feel like a lot of people, a lot of shows maybe hold back because they're worried about getting it wrong. But we need not worry about getting it wrong. We need to try and hear the criticism or hear the feedback and try again. And I'm just lucky that the creative team that are behind Domina were able to receive me and have those difficult conversations. And I hope that carries on as we progress. But we've definitely made a start.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It holds up so well in every way. And I love too that in a lot of ways, the men doing the political side of it feel like the pawns, and it's the women who are actually making the moves to change things. And it feels so authentic. Like there's no moment where you're like, oh no, it wouldn't be like that. No, it feels like exactly how it would go.
Yeah, it is. My husband, I'll tell him something, and 2 weeks later, it's his idea.
I was just about to say, my mom's words is, for now, let them think that they came up with it.
Yeah,
absolutely. So my best ideas come from my wife. So, I will always defer to her when there's a difficult choice. So for you all, going into this set, I was speaking with the others. What was it like in terms of building the character? Because it must lend so much authenticity to these roles to be in that space.
Yeah, driving through Rome in the morning to get onto a Roman set was really one of the most magical things for me. I mean, I just felt so lucky with it. It's just kind of this magical, mystical energy. You're kind of looking at the Colosseum and then driving on to kind of, do these scenes. So that's pretty amazing. And regarding character, Octavia, for example, was, she was written really, her kind of the breakdown, the little paragraph that came with her was, that she was dignity incarnated in Rome and blah, blah. And then, of course, as you actually dug into it, you find out that she and Gaius, because she's Gaius's sister, came from nothing and went to the top. And that she married all these people that he needed her to marry and had kids with all these people that he needed her to, and finally she calls it off with Mark Antony at the end. I mean, like she stops there, but she'd done it her whole life. And so, you really got to Christine did with Scribonia and Antigone did and Olivia, all these characters, is that you found out it doesn't matter how much dignity there is, there's steel underneath. This woman was prepared to do whatever to get to the top and stay there. So, what was great with Simon was we kind of had this sort of initial thing of Octavia just being really proper. And then we kind of, as we went along, he got inspired by all of us, I think. He got, Olivia was obviously, there was a lot of material to be inspired by, but, Colette and Christine and I think we all kind of, he grew with us. We grew with each other and kind of made more layers and made more complexity and kind of went for it. And God bless him, he did it, But that was what was important to me was, understanding she and Gaius did every move together. Mm-hmm. She's as weary of Livia as he is. She's, all of this dynamic. And also that's a female reading another female. Don't underestimate it, ever, men.
Yes, I think we keep referring back to a line as well that Scribonia says to her daughter, you have been given everything except freedom. And that's very, very true. And I think that's the parameters that these women are having to work around and manipulate the men and make, keep alive in this world. And that's what's interesting. That's what's interesting about the project, I think, is what the women bring to the table and how they do it. Yeah.
Yeah. What was really interesting for a character like Antigone is that we had a lot of conversations about historical material and the lack thereof from someone of slave status or free person status, and how we had to be very creative in finding the invisible spaces of which someone like Antigone and Tycho could operate, and how we could influence some of the political shifts that happen later on in stories. So, they were a part of the society, and they can't not have had any influence. Yeah. So, as well as informing the women's point of view, and really uncovering what really the influence and power that we had, the creative ways in which we informed politics. We also did that for slaves and freed people in a way, and it's definitely something that we keep dreaming up and finding, and it's interesting because we do find dots that connect. We just don't have the informations in between. And so that's when Simon comes up with the brilliant creative ideas that he does. And we have those conversations. And a story is written that wasn't before.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for the time. It was really a pleasure. I cannot wait to see the last 4 episodes. So thanks a lot and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andrew.